This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping the news, a freak industrial accident occurred today in waters near the Borco Jetty. Now, police have confirmed that a dive contractor was doing some work out to sea when his legs got entangled in some lines, resulting in his right ankle being amputated. The diver was taken to hospital where he is reported to be in stable condition. Unconfirmed reports say the diver was working for a local dive contractor. We telephoned Borco several times today for confirmation of this incident. However, we were told that the executives were in a meeting and no one was available to provide a comment. Now, ZNS News has also learned that an investigation is underway into this apparent industrial accident. Well, as discussions continue regarding a proposed increase in minimum wage, a local labor activist is taking a critical look at the state of labor on Grand Bahama. Joan Davis-Roll has this story.
There are two vital prongs of Grand Bahama's economy that continues to yield a level of success: tourism and the industrial sector. With Grand Bahama being the industrial capital of the Bahamas, it has made this island an envy of the region. However, local labor activist Lionel Morley is taking exception to the salaries paid to local workers, stating that too many Bahamians are overworked and underpaid within the various sectors.
When you do a comparability study to those persons that makes more than minimum wage, those people too are far underpaid. We have some industry down there versus some that are 55 miles away from our borders that makes 7 times more than those persons in those industry that he brags about. The people in this country, in this town, are underpaid and overly utilized.
He says no country can function without a viable workforce.
We have wasted a lot of time fighting each other and pointing fingers rather than finding a seat around the table and finding a sensible solution where we can put the pressure on the powers to be, that they understand that there can be no discussion without labor.
Reports of underpaid workers, he says, cannot be tolerated and must be investigated.
What was recently brought to our attention by a resident, he was concerned that persons, specifically maids on Grand Bahama, are being paid $3 an hour in 2015. What do you think about that?
People who are so-called union leaders do not have the fire in their belly and the drive and tenacity to push the agenda of the workers forward. They take these positions for power, for positions only. And from time of memorial, from the Memorandum of Understanding was signed in 1973, when we had the champions and the likes of Sir Milo Butler, Sir Lyndon and Sir Clifford and Sir Cecil and those, where they bring about the gratuities, where gratuities will supplement for lower wage salaries. Today, the employers are now take a new position. They become legislator. They take the gratuities and they use it for salaries. The people are paid from the very salaries in which they are supposed to be paid because they're directly servicing a guest. And so if we have a role reversal, but who's there to spearhead and to fight and to champion the cause of these people? Do you think government is going to rise to the occasion? Every time I fight, they have to legislate for both sides.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the Constitutional Committee continuing its series of public consultation meetings here on Grand Bahama. The latest group to learn more about the gender equality bills were public officers. Now, there are 4 separate bills. Retired Justice Ruby Nottage says it is important to educate these persons because they are the gatekeepers of society.
These are the gatekeepers of our country, of those who are citizens of the Bahamas, those who want to be citizens, and gatekeepers of people who make applications in various aspects that relate to immigration. For example, if a child is born outside the Bahamas and their parents wish to bring them back into the Bahamas, we discuss some of the issues that might concern a public officer who has to make the decision as to whether they can give a document, a Bahamian document, to that child that's now seeking to be given Bahamian documentation. So public officers are extremely important.
Nottage says she is pleased that more and more persons are becoming aware of the bills and what they seek to do.
I am very certain that it is, and I'm delighted. You can see my heart lifting because, you know, before Christmas, we came to Grand Bahama on several occasions. There were people who were quite happy to hear the message and they understood, but there were others who heard it and they were not happy. Let's put it that way. They were not comfortable with the message. Now I feel that they are listening. I'm not certain that I have convinced everyone. You will never convince everyone.
Well, so far the committee has visited West End and 8 Mile Rock. Tomorrow they will take the message to High Rock, and on Friday they will be on to Sweetings Key. The Department of Immigration mounting an operation over on the island of Abaco today. ZNS News has learned that processing of suspected illegals began this morning at the parish of St. John's and will unfold over the next several days. Immigration Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, giving the details in Parliament this morning, noting this period of more intensive checks has been mounted in Abaco by the department because of recent reports that state that 60 people believed to be from Haiti slipped into Abaco undetected and without visas in the early hours of March 12th. Minister Mitchell says a team of immigration officers were transported to Abaco on board the HMBS Nassau this morning and began immigration checks, assisting the local immigration force. The Department of Immigration is supported by the police, and the Defense Force is also on standby for support. Well, as local law enforcement officers in the Bahamas work to stem the tide of crime, the assistance of their United States counterparts is said to be a vital component to their success. U.S. officials say it is this partnership that is being solidified as the war on crime continues. Our Joan Davis-Roll reports.
They are our neighbors to the north, and for years their presence on the high seas have played a pivotal role in the fight against crime. For decades, the United States Coast Guard, in conjunction with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, has formed a united front, not only patrolling our borders, but keeping them safe. Commanding Officer of the United States Coast Guard, Terry Johns.
We have a vast maritime border, and much of that can have weaknesses, so it helps to have the Coast Guard out at sea assisting, and especially with our partner nations also kind of standing the role as guardians to protect both of our nations from the scourge of contraband that are entering our countries.
The Bahamas, an archipelagic nation, unlike the United States, has been challenged on many fronts. Commander John says, as ties between the Bahamas and the United States continue to intensify, so does the criminal element.
The greatest challenge, I would say, is resources. Our Coast Guard Cutter Vigorous is a 45-year-old ship. In order to maintain that and keep it running and being efficient and successful requires a heck of a lot of hard work. My crew members are constantly trying to keep systems going and keep them up, which requires lots of man hours, lots of hard work and sweat. That's the biggest challenge we have.
The commander noted that the success of their efforts have definitely put a dent in crime. Their greatest asset, technology.
Our technological advances, I'd say, and our ability to gain intelligence is probably some of the biggest help we've had. Operations Bahamas and Turks and Caicos and the Royal Bahama Police Force have been instrumental in helping us there and helping us to determine the source of the contraband, and then we have a much better opportunity to be successful.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Police arresting 3 males for possession of dangerous drugs. Reports are that around 2 o'clock this morning, officers of the mobile unit stopped a black Volkswagen Jetta with 3 male occupants while on Sattler's Way. Police say the men were acting suspiciously. A search was conducted and officers discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana and cash that is suspected of being derived from illegal proceeds. Now all persons were arrested and taken into custody. Active investigations are continuing. Stay with us, more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education recognizing a group of exemplary teachers. The educators have been singled out as some of the best in the profession, and they were applauded for their dedication to the field. Megan Shepard reports.
8 of the best public school teachers recognized as Teachers of the Year at their respective institutions. The teachers will be traveling to New Providence to compete in the 11th annual National Teacher of the Year competition. Teachers from East Grand Bahama District say it is an honor to be recognized by their peers, and they are looking forward to exchanging best practices with other exemplary teachers.
It's always a good thing when your colleagues, your students, and your peers recommend you for, receiving some kind of honor, so I'm excited.
Every teacher here from Freeport is representing their school. Because we all realize the effort it takes, the passion it takes, the desire and the determination it takes, and the dedication to come to work every day and, be creative, be innovative.
I feel good about going into Nassau. I think I've worked hard in the competition, and so I'm looking forward to the experience in Nassau, meeting other teachers from other districts.
Teachers from the Western District equally excited for the opportunity to earn the top title. They say it is a blessing and humbling experience to be recognized by their peers for a vocation they truly love.
It's very humbling, first of all, and it's also an awesome experience because it allows you to be recognized for what you have done as well as honored in your profession.
Teaching is a work of art and heart, and it's indeed rewarding, and it makes you feel very fulfilled to know that someone noticed all of your hard work and dedication, which is pretty much simply due out of the love of the job, the passion that you have, simply for the vocation.
As a teacher, we do things for the interest of our students and for the betterment of the country. So this is a humbling experience for me. I'm not one to be in the forefront, however being placed in the forefront has set me on a stage where I'm now viewed by all, so I have to step out of my box.
It was very humbling. I actually cried when I was first nominated, and I enjoyed the support. I appreciate the support from my team at Walter Parker, but it's humbling, it's an honor. It's truly an honor to be named among the best of the best.
The group say they are looking forward to representing Grand Bahama and to hopefully bring home the national title. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Megan. Well, the role of social workers is being highlighted throughout this month as March has been designated Social Workers Month. The local department is using this time to bring greater awareness to the overall operation as they seek to foster closer ties with the community. Chairman of the Bahamas Association of Social Workers, Julita Ingram, says a number of activities have been planned in celebration of Social Services Month. Meanwhile, President of Tarif College, Terrence Archer, is partnering with this vital government agency in the month-long observance.
And one will be the backyard farming. At the backyard farming, Mr. Marshall will be our presenter for the backyard farming. He's going to teach us social workers how to farm our backyard, which I think is actually needed.
It is our hope to even become more involved, Ms. Ingram, with your association and what you're doing from an institutional standpoint, and to see how we can continue to lend support and show off our commitment to what you're doing here. Especially when you're dealing with the social ills of persons in our community.
Member of the Association of Social Workers, Jerron Harvey, says a highlight of the month will be a banquet on Saturday, March 28th. Senior Welfare Officer Rochelle Minnis is appealing for public support.
During this banquet, we intend to introduce for the first time in the history of the Bahamas the Social Worker of the Year Awards and the Public Citizen of the Year Awards. And so we have 10 nominees for this award, and we are expecting a grand time. We are expecting the general public to come out.
As we celebrate Social Workers Month, we want to encourage the general public. Please come out and support the various events. We know that our social workers work year-round, and this is the time for us to celebrate them. So I just want to encourage you again to please come out and support our banquet and our various events.
Well, that banquet will be held on March 28th at Le Chateau on the Green. The entire Bahamas is being challenged to rock your socks. It is an innovative initiative designed to bring greater focus to a disorder affecting a growing number of children. Officials at the forefront of this campaign are attempting to raise public awareness and drum up greater support from the wider community. This Friday is being dubbed Down Syndrome Day. President of the Down Syndrome Association, Wendy Hanna.
Grand Bahama Down Syndrome Society is inviting the entire community of Grand Bahama to recognize this important day on Friday, March 20th by rocking your socks. We're inviting the entire community to wear mismatched socks as a symbolic gesture of showing the love and support for those in our community who are living with Down syndrome. We've invited all of the schools on the island to participate, and we hope that the entire community, the community at large, also takes part in this fun way to bring awareness to those in our community who are living with Down syndrome.
Well, Hannah says, unfortunately, there is a stigma attached to persons who suffer from Down syndrome. The goal of this organization and this campaign is to change that negative perception.
People not to conceal their children with special needs or Down syndrome, which continues to be a problem that plagues our society. So definitely to encourage those people who have been affected by Down syndrome to feel welcome in the community, to bring their children, bring their adults out who have Down syndrome, and for the community to embrace them. So this is this is the day that we do that here, and then also when we have our buddy walk in May.
The Free National Movement Grand Bahama Council paying tribute to the party's founder, Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield, this weekend. Several activities are being planned, including a youth-related event. Kimberly Mullings has the details.
This year, as the F&M focuses on the life and the legacy of Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield, the party is focusing on the youth. Pine Ridge Youth Officer C.J. Lowe says it's an honor to pay homage to a great man. He's had a positive impact on the political landscape of the country.
Sir Cecil was one who was passionate about youth. You know, he surrounded his life with youth and young people and getting them active in their community and doing what they can do for their party.
The youth officer notes that it's important to highlight the young people in the country and to give them the attention and support that they deserve.
Every time we hear something about our youth, it's negatively or it's something that is never nothing right about them. So why not come to something like this to support them, show them that, hey, we hear you, we see you, we want to be a part of you.
The talent show will highlight Sir Cecil Wallace Whitfield's contributions to the Bahamas and to Grand Bahama Island in particular. Lowe says the committee considers this fitting since Sir Cecil had a special interest in the youth.
We decided to come together as a group and put on a youth talent show so that these young people who have all these many talents can showcase them to the public. You know, you never know what can happen in these instances. Somebody can sign one, someone can make it from where they are now to someplace higher. So this is just for them to have something to do and to showcase what they can do. So just come on out, have fun, and let's make it a party.
The talent show competition Battle of the Stars begins at 7 p.m. on Friday at the F&M headquarters. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kimberly. Well, other events include a family fun day on Saturday at noon at the party's headquarters, and on Sunday at 10 a.m. a church service will be held at the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.
Everybody at Sports Number Ricardo Lightman. This one today goes out to Bishop Norwood Dean and wife Ruby that's visiting from Miami, Florida. I've been trying to get him to drop the Miami Dolphin team, but he's a praying man, and so he's got to stay with that dead team. They need all the press they can get. Right, Darren? 2015 High School Track and Field Championship came to an end on Monday at the GB Sports Complex. Our Kimberly Mullings was there.
3 seems to have been the lucky number for the night. For the 3rd consecutive year, Tabernacle Baptist Academy won the senior division of the high school track and field championships, totaling 626 points. Falcons track and field coach Nikito Johnson was excited about the win.
After the hurdles, I said, oh my gosh, I really pulled this off this year. All the injuries we have, and we still managed to come and pull it off. So I said, the hurdles, thank you, God. I think I got this one.
St. George's placed 2nd with 578 points. Jack Hayward 410.5 for 3rd place. The BMES Warriors 4th with 363, followed by 8 Mile Rock with 198.5 points. Taking the junior division on the final day of the championships was Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior School with 492 points. Coach Derek Wells says this is one three-peat that he didn't see coming for the Panthers. He owes it all to the hard-working student-athlete.
I must give my hats off to Jack Haywood because they put up a really, really good fight. They was leading the meet for the past 6 days. We haven't led for 6 days. We trailed the whole meet. I don't think I've ever been teased so much in my life, so it feels good to come from behind and win.
Jack Haywood Jr. was second with 481 points, Tabernacle third with 389.5 points, 8 Mile Rock with 314.5, followed by Bishop Michael Ellen with 242 points. A moment of silence was held for coaches Frederick Bastian and Dwayne Jennings and youth enthusiast Basil Nemore. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Total Sports.
Antwerp College Fun Run and Walk was held on the weekend, folks, and Megan Shepard has got this one covered.
Grand Bahamians were awake and active early Saturday morning as they participated in the Tarif College Fun Run Walk in aid of the Grand Bahama Cancer Society and Lupus Bahamas. President and CEO of the college, Terrence Archer, says the college firmly believes in stepping outside of the corporate world to assist and support various causes on the island.
All of us, at one point or another, would have a relative, a friend, or someone we know by means of an acquaintance that can happen to have a bout with either cancer or lupus.
President of Lupus Bahamas, Tamika Lightbourne, says she is very grateful to Tarif College for the assistance that will go toward much needed awareness.
We are a nonprofit organization, and it is by the help of corporate entities as well as the general public that we raise funds and also sources to educate the public and to bring lupus awareness.
Members of the Cancer Society of Grand Bahama say they too are grateful, and funds will go toward their awareness campaign and annual screenings.
Going into the communities, different settlements, and trying to educate the public more about being aware of their bodies, what they eat and exercise, trying to control and combat the various forms of cancer.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Total Sports.
And I got to tell you that our Fun Run and Walk is this coming Saturday. Make sure you guys register. I am in. I hope Megan and all y'all see this. Number 44. I can say no more. That's a look at sports.